Blood and soil, what does it mean? Well, it's like this idea that we will claim this land and we will claim it over the blood of our enemies.
Blood and tendies.
Oh no.
Dolphin attack.
So what's everyone think about this Arby's meat carrot? The fact that Arby's has just decided to become the most toxic fast food restaurant in the world.
They have to do something to set themselves like apart, and their whole thing is when we have the meat. So like the ridiculousness of their own advertising is just being borne out now. Now it's not like, hey, and, we have the meats, we should do like meat vegetable replacements. Like, it's like, no, like, we have the meats, the only thing that we can do is meat vegetable replacements.
Yeah, it just almost seems like a parody, as Burger King is doing the meatless burger patty. Now they're doing the
doubling down on the meat. Yeah, I mean, personally, when I hear the words meat carrot, my inner 13-year-old just can't help but giggle. So
just start salivating and being like, "Oh yeah, well, what's that?"
It's guys, it's like a penis.
Whoa! I just feel like in the era of Carl's Jr. making all of these ads that really rely on sex appeal, it seems weird that Arby's is now basically a step away from having H. John Benjamin call me a cuck.
When are they going to put out a burger that you can actually have sex with? I think if they're going to, go for the sex appeal.
I think that's why Carl's Jr. going out of business and closing down a bunch of places. Like, they couldn't make it work, and they don't have any other ideas, so they're just putting all their resources into trying to make the perfect sex burger.
We all know that Burger King probably has not only been working on it, but has perfected it and is keeping it for themselves in some cursed secret vault. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Psychic Dolphin Garage. I'm one of your hosts, Kelton. You can find me on Twitter, Reddit, and TikTok at that Kelton guy, or actually not Twitter anymore. We have an update about that. Joining me today is my co-host, Zach. How you doing, buddy?
Bienvenidos a otro episodio del Psíquico del Fin Garage. Soy Zach. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook. You can follow our Facebook page and share our memes. We also have Bo with us again.
Now that you've got me in the Democratic candidate mindset, hearing all that Spanish makes me want to go to Chipotle. Hello,
Jesus.
folks.
Oh man,
Chipotle, please sponsor us.
It's your boy Bosif Bostar. As always, I'm at Schnedwab on Twitter. I promise I'll use that at some point. So yeah, how's it going, gamers?
I mean, it's been a rough one for me. Twitter locked me out of my Twitter account for making a joke that made fun of the troops, and so I now had to switch to a very mature and thoughtful username of @sexconfetti because
that rules.
I am a 13-year-old boy at heart.
No, sex confetti is when you cut up a bunch of condoms and throw them in the air and they get stuck on your ceiling. Yeah.
Oh, used condoms. I'm sorry. I was
yeah, of course.
picturing the finest of dry goat skin. Oh, I guess a big news update would be that the Psychic Dolphin Garage phone line, you can find us 512-402-2089, finally got a text message, and it was one of those "Hey, you up" kind of messages. And when you search the phone number, the first result is from a gentleman named Tim that can be found over at predatораlerts.com.
So is this some sort of to catch a predator kind of thing?
Yeah, sex predator type.
Hell yeah, we're getting we've skipped the podcast fame part straight to just being nonces. This is great.
Some podcasts have a fan base of 14-year-old boys. We have a fan base that likes 14-year-old boys. Yeah, the Instagram is still down. So it's still reserved to us, but I mean, I'm not going to really push that idea overall. We're just going to focus on the Facebook page. Come on now. I've lost too much this week. My heart is broken.
We were really looking forward to the Facebook thirst posting, but we skipped over like Facebook thirst posting and Twitter thirst posting and right to just the dick pic at 2 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, once we found Bo's burner account on Twitter, I mean, we pretty much had all the saved photos we needed.
Hey, listen, I commissioned that furry porn fair and fucking square, alright? I know there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, but fucking at YifMaster420 needs to eat, alright?
Yeah, we have a very mature podcast. I'm very proud of what we do. I think it would easily blend in with anything going on in New York or LA. Pretty much anywhere where KFC is testing out that Cheeto sandwich, like our podcast, I think would fit in.
Dick jokes and hot Cheetos and
No. Come on now. They're not testing out the hot Cheeto version yet. They're just testing out the chicken sandwich with Cheetos on it sandwich.
Right. The normal Cheetos, because hot Cheetos are too spicy.
I'd be so down for that, yeah.
You think about it, though, Bo, okay? Think about it. It sounds good. You order it in the drive-thru because, of course, you don't want to be caught eating sit-down at KFC. You haven't eaten it as you're driving home. You open it up. Then those Cheetos, which are definitely stale because they don't put a lid while storing it there on the line, you bite into it, and it has that, like, stale half-crunch sort of taste to it.
Oh, yeah, that, like, shitty chips have. Yeah.
It's like the Fritos and all of the Taco Bell stuff.
The real way you do it, all right, hear me out, is you bring your own fucking Cheetos. Yeah, just crack the fucking bag open, put them on the sandwich, bada bing, bada boom, baby.
Yeah, no, you get the sandwich, they hand you the tray, you, like, put the tray on the counter, like, open the sandwich up, pull out your bag of Cheetos, put it on there, like, in front of them, and
yeah, you definitely have to make, like, a spectacle of it.
Yeah.
Make a real meal of it. Just show everyone.
It's the real meal deal.
Real-ass meal deal of the week, brought to you by KFC. KFC, fuck you, Arby's. We're the edgelord food now.
I mean, KFC and Taco Bell are owned by ABC and Pizza Hut too, and they like Taco Bell's been getting okay.
Yeah, I mean Taco Bell's always been okay. Like Taco Bell, everyone loves to shit on them, but I mean, when you have $3 in your bank account and you need food, like they will be there for you.
Yeah. But Taco Bell has a better bit than KFC does, because KFC is just fried chicken.
Well, yeah, because Taco Bell's whole marketing team decided to take, like, ayahuasca at Burning Man. And they're like, fuck it, we'll build a hotel somewhere. Our ads are just going to be a whole bunch of, like, weird, fancy-clothed people and a goat head for no reason.
Taco Bell was the start of the late capitalism ads that are just on the spectacle now for us to watch. You know, where you watch like 2 minutes of it and it's like a small movie and you don't know what's happening, but someone's like growing up and having like life-changing experiences. And then it's like, Subway.
Yeah. Just watching Boyhood by Richard Linklater. And at the very end, it's just like, sponsored by Taco Bell. Always here for you.
It's definitely the kind of thing that comes up like as a fucking autoplay ad on YouTube, and you're just too high to click skip. So you just sit there and soak in it, and then at the end you're like, okay, yeah, sure, let's go to Sonic. Fuck it.
What if there was like an Aaron Sorkin written, David Fincher directed movie about the product team that came up with the KFC Cheeto sandwich? Just a really intense, tight, 110-minute drama film where they go over the morality of their decision making, and the bad guys at the American Heart Association won't let them push it through, but they find a way, by God.
Andy Serkis is the head of the American Heart Association that's denying them the denying their commercial.
See, we already got this down. All we need is money. Because, I mean, you know KFC would totally be down for it.
Yeah, y'all, I'm firing up fucking screenwriting software right now, and all I have to do is write interior boardroom, a guy in a fucking business casual outfit looks sternly out the window, slowly brings his fucking hand to his forehead, wipes the sweat from his brow.
It
begins to rain.
I hate sand, he thinks to himself.
Well, you know what? One city isn't going to be getting the KFC Cheeto Sandwich. Portland, probably, is my guess.
They're getting plenty of milkshakes, though.
Yeah,
Hey.
thanks, Antifa. How could you?
God.
I love how people are now. The Portland Police Department was levying an accusation that Antifa was using quick drying cement in the milkshakes and then throwing them like they were disguised as milkshakes.
It's not a bad idea, honestly.
You'd be better off. You'd be better off using resin, using a quick set resin, because you keep it in with the milkshake because it's very white, and then all you have to do is pour the catalyst in, mix it with the straw, and then chunk it at someone, and then resin heats up a whole lot when it's drying. So not only would you burn their skin off.
Satire. Haha, parody.
This would be a fun thing for Wile E. Coyote to do.
Wait. We're not going messed up. Okay. Hang on. Yeah. Quick set cement. How dare they? That could hurt someone. We just want to tarnish their pride and whatever they're wearing.
What I would love if, instead of everything else that they were doing, of throwing milkshakes at the head, what if you just threw quick-acting glue or tar on their feet? Just really get them stuck into the ground and not be able to move.
What if you just tarred their whole body? And what if someone had like a bag of like feathers and you like chased them around town with it to stick things into the,
This is beautiful.
I feel like that's something that we should just start doing, Feels like a brand new idea that we've never done before.
No. I mean, it could be fantastic, because then we could come up with super clever names for it, playful things.
Yeah.
Like, ha ha, you chick. Yeah, that's what you are, because your skin is being boiled alive under tar. We've thrown feathers on you.
So is this the segue in from the KFC part? I guess.
Yes. That scene is the instigating incident that then someone looks at this violence and is like, I have to heal this nation. And they come up with the Cheeto Sandwich.
Perfect.
The Texas edition is just the sandwich, but with Takis.
Oh fuck, that sounds good actually.
Bo,
I'm making, all right, fuck you guys, I'm off the podcast. I'm pivoting full time to doing a YouTube channel where I just make scenes inside fucking fast food places by awkwardly putting chips on my sandwich and making incredibly awkward small talk with whoever happens to be manning the cash register.
No, and you can't even be meek about it. I'm just picturing Bo looking like Guy Fieri, walking in with a full camera crew, just being like, I got some Takis right here. I'm in this KFC. Asking them, hey, buddy, how about you put some of these on a sandwich for me? They probably would. Like, they would think, oh, well, this is something, I guess, that corporate is doing. Like, you could run that grift on them the whole time.
Sir, this is Chex Mix.
Of course. What else are you going to put in your Baja Blast? Huh? Take it out.
I need to get a manager? Are you okay, sir?
Mentally ill Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri, but he doesn't know where he is. Oh, I made it sad.
Hi, this is Guy Fieri, and welcome to Casinos, Clubs, and Crack Houses. We're going to check out some of the most famous strung-out drug users and ask them what's up. Yeah, the whole Portland thing is weird because everyone is getting upset and damning Antifa because a guy who is a photojournalist for, well, air quotes around journalist, for a right-wing news site, was going there to purposefully get antagonized, and it just seems like the most willful ignorance in the world of how everyone's treating the whole situation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, it's a great grift. Like, it sucks, but
oh yeah, no, like there's a part of me that thinks that Andy Ngo's whole deal was a false flag attempt about where he knew we would get milkshaked, Then if he got punched in the face, he could then play it up even further. And he's now raised on GoFundMe $75,000 to cover it all. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
fuck.
like, as far as grifts go, if getting punched in the face and getting a milkshake poured on you gets you $75,000, I mean, I think we know what we got to do, fellas.
I mean,
It's time.
for trying to scam people out of money and put himself as the victim here, he did a lot better than Jussie Smollett.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I don't want to pull the race card here, but one of them, kind of did a half-assed effort about it, got a little lazy. The other one really had that work ethic that seemed to be instilled in him.
Oh,
to get
Jesus.
that grift going.
Yeah, it's almost like if you work for the things you want, that you will get them.
This is what happens when you have a tiger mom. Just...
Oh no.
A tiger mom who's also very racist.
Well, I'm not going to do that accent impression of her. So, let's see here. I'm going to pull up a bag of tricks and go, what would Andy Ngo's mom sound like? Well, you see, son, one of the most important things being your mother, that's me, Andy Ngo's mother speaking here.
It's a me, a Jussie Smollett's a mother.
No, that's more like it.
The dough.
Racism just like Nona used to make.
The world of failed bits that will get cut out. This is most certainly.
Hello, it's me, Andy Ngo's mother. Is that...
Hi,
You
it's
okay there?
O.J. Simpson, also known as Andy Ngo's mother.
Hello, it's Andy Ngo's mother. Is that Stephen Hawking? He's gay. It's Stephen Hawking and Whitney Houston.
Well, I guess going from Portland and all the way across the country, something big that happened this week was the first Democratic debate that happened over 2 nights, and man, a lot of stuff happened.
Marianne Williamson is my pagan god queen, and I will go to war for her, no question.
Absolutely. She's a Houston native, so, I mean, the podcast is...
Gang.
Exactly. Orb gang, all day,
Orb
every day. Good vibes, light witchcraft. We got this. Energy eggs. Come on now.
As I mentioned earlier, Beto's use of Spanish was 100% the kind of thing that you hear from your dad ordering in a Mexican restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was cringy because of who it was. I read some articles which came from mainstream news sources, so I'm reasonably trustworthy. But they were talking about how the Telemundo shows that came on afterwards and talked about the debate were talking about how, well, that's the most Spanish that's ever been spoken at the Democratic debate. So Beto wasn't the messenger that we wanted, deserved, or needed. But he was the messenger. So I do think it would be awesome if there were if the debate happened in different languages.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because if we want competent people in office, like having a grasp on multiple languages would be important to the whole politic thing. Where
so what you're saying is that Pete Buttigieg clearly is the man to make things happen because he knows 7 languages, Zach.
I'm telling you, out of all of the nerds on that stage, I liked Buttigieg the most. But
I like Castro.
He did not show up at all.
No, but everyone showed up more than Yang, and I think that was the most hilarious thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad that he went from being the meme candidate and the mantle was transferred to Marianne.
I mean,
100%, yeah.
He really is kind of that, meme candidate, that big Kanye West kind of vibe energy with his Yeezus-y kind of vibe about where it's all hype and then once it happens, like, okay, I mean, he did okay, but nowhere near the expectations of the fan base.
Which is good because he has bad neoliberal policies, and the people that were getting behind him think that he's revolutionary when he's just more of the same. in a flavor they haven't seen before.
What I love are Republicans who are going for Yang, even though they hate the idea of quote unquote government handouts, when his most famous policy platform is literally a government handout.
Neat bucks. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's called the Freedom Dividend, so it has freedom on it, so they're cool with it.
Hell yeah.
It's like we're all stock owners in the giant corporation that is America.
God.
I would sell my stock in America so fast.
Oh, if it got like distributed as like a different form as like a bond,
Yeah.
then just like millions of people shipping their bonds overseas until China owned so much of American freedom.
We're
dividends.
basically just inventing money right now. I'm realizing this.
We're selling our
What
country.
if each
literally-
country had stock that could be traded with other countries, and then not necessarily 1-to-1 ratio? Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
No. I'm proposing that we take our stock, our tenth of a percentage ownership of the United States. That's the freedom dividend, and we ship it to another country until we stockpile so much in the other country that they just own us at that point, because they own more freedom dividends than Americans do.
Then we would have to invade that country, and then we would receive something called imperialism dividends.
Oh, fucking genius.
Fuck
Then it's
yeah.
just fucking Starship Troopers at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can join the military force to get my imperialism dividend.
Service guarantees citizenship. I've been telling you guys. Come on now.
Isn't that one of Castro's things where he's like, yeah, if you were in the military, you will be a citizen.
I believe so, yes, but I don't know, because every candidate is kind of just like, what do you mean what I said 2 years ago? That was the old me. Let's not talk about that.
This is the sleeker me. A
The
more
Bernie
improved
me.
Ooh. I burned all of those calories.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, I mean, every candidate is just kind of becoming Bernie, and so I do love the two schools of thought of, on one side, just, well, what if they're actually moving the Overton window to the left and they're saying things that truly resonate with the American people, and it's a sign that the Democratic Party is finally taking the necessary step forward and is going to achieve something that can truly come back to the American people and vibe with them in such a way that will carry them into 2020 victory. And the other side is like, well, I mean, they could also just be lying about everything. And, that just seems like the more likely of the two.
Yeah. I mean, cynicism, I would say, is a good bet in general in regards to this. Because even, like you said, as the Overton window moves more to the Bernie side, I don't even want to say left. That seems too generous. Like, even as it moves like that, fucking half these people don't really give a shit about what they're saying.
Of course.
Which is scary
yeah.
because candidates like Kamala Harris and a cop, a police officer, prosecutor in the state of California that locked up drug users for minor offenses. Look,
I can't believe you were a
good
cop
on stage.
Yeah, I can't believe you were a cop, says Joe Biden, the man who gave the eulogy for Strom Thurmond.
God. Yeah. That was one highlight, I gotta say, is fucking watching as Kamala and Biden just kind of ate each other's asses.
Yeah. If only... We now know that they're not going to be put in the same debate together, unfortunately. Now,
how many people make it out of this one? 10 people?
No. I think the new threshold is still have to poll at above 1%, or maybe it's at 2% now. But you have to have like $100,000 or 100,000 different individual donors.
Okay.
So, like,
I know there's
each time around.
I know there's a bunch of Republicans that are donating to Marianne Williamson's campaign because they want to see her at the next debate.
Well, of course, who
Shit,
doesn't
so do
want to
I,
see some time-traveling 1940s starlet just being like, well, the thing we have to focus on is love. And do you see, Mr. Trump, that love is the thing that we all have to believe in? And it can't be fear. It's love that will carry us through. I guess now would also be a good time to mention that we've established a Marianne Williamson's Dank Meme Stash Facebook group.
Oh,
that
yeah.
is tied into the page. So go ahead and give that a like for the unironic question mark support for this candidate.
As I was saying earlier, it started off ironic, but then I woke up the next morning with the ability to shoot rays of light from my hands. So, I mean, I'm fully on board at this point.
I may be the one that can see those rays of light, but that's because I finally unblocked my chakra.
Oh, my pineal gland is like, oh my god, through the fucking roof. Whatever that means.
I am 9 more ego deaths away from finally being reincarnated as the Dalai Lama. So, according to the Dalai Lama, that means I'm going to be a hot chick in the next life.
I'm not only am I going to be reincarnated as the Dalai Lama, I'm also going to be a cat girl. So take that.
Oh my God.
Take that,
Dalai
materialists.
Lama says that the next incarnation of him will be a cat girl. Beautiful.
I don't know if that is a future that I despise or want to be a part of, because it's so ridiculous. It's like, yeah, I know, like, let's go, let's do it. Accelerationism.
What if
Yeah.
I told you, Zach, that whether or not you want it or not, it is the reality that you deserve, and we all deserve. So,
And again, I'm not really sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm on board with it. Is the future that we deserve one where all of these candidates have to run against each other, or is there one where we can take them all and smash them together in the blender and turn out one giant Frankenstein candidate?
just
Yeah.
a gelatinous blob.
So that's the thing. I was going to say, I don't know if the Voltron analogy works better or the Frankenstein one does, because I guarantee you that's the only way these people are coming together, is if you physically cut them into little pieces and reassemble all the good parts.
For surprisingly all the wrong reasons, Joe Biden is not comfortable sharing a body with Kamala Harris or Andrew Yang.
Well, we're definitely not including Joe
Castro.
Biden's hands in the abomination we're building. That's for sure.
Joe
We're-
Biden, he probably believes that his body parts and blood are incompatible with them.
God,
It's
yeah.
actually just made out of bile and battery acid, so we don't quite know how he was currently functioning at this level.
Just running on pure racism at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
It's not Voltron. It's more like the Megazord, because all of the candidates are just fucking dinosaurs.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's good. That's fucking good.
that's the thing to do. Okay, so just gonna basically let people know right off the bat. This is a breakdown of imagining if every candidate's most progressive issue was kind of put forward together, and then we made one solid candidate out of it. So then the question would become, not would we vote for them, because, I mean, the three of us probably would, but rather, do we think that this person would have a legitimate shot at the primary, or possibly even as a third-party type candidate? That's going to be the thought experiment. You know, do we think that the American people are ready for, if this candidate was in the field, do you think that they could, survive through the debates? So, the first couple of issues, real quick, jumping to something that's going to get cut. Is everyone on the docket right now?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I got it pulled up.
Okay, cool deal. Jumping back in then. So the first main thing, or not first main thing. So the first thing that would be addressed is federalizing and expanding the powers of the United States Department of Education to create a federal curriculum that would include universal pre-K and increase general public school funding and teacher pay by $13,500, as well as providing free college and university, grad school, and trade school. Is that something that I think most people might be able to jump on board with in the Democratic Party?
I'm not sure if a federal curriculum would be the best answer, but certainly a federally like some sort of federal standard for curriculum would have to be created, and then budgeting to make sure that all of the schools in each state have access to updated curriculum.
In other words, making sure that Kansas isn't using textbooks from 1984.
Yes, that is a actual problem.
Weird thing. Here, Bo, how about you read the next issue? Down.
Federal jobs guarantee: $500 billion annually for infrastructure, ISP, and public transit. $1 trillion annually for green energy to get 8 million climate core jobs and 0 net emissions by 2050. Good fucking luck. $15 minimum wage and guaranteed expanded sick leave, and an overhaul of the EPA and the VA.
God, that would be so good. That's the perfect.
All of that would actually be really great.
Well, where are you
it will
get
never
this
happen.
From? This is literally our only budget. We have what's our current budget right now? Like $7 trillion.
I mean, it's all kind of fake, funny money anyway.
Yeah, I mean they can just print more and then take more of it back. The current
Modern monetary policy, baby.
Federal budget for 2015 was $3.8 trillion.
That's right.
So this isn't even that much. We got this. We got a couple more over here. So this looks totally doable to me.
Just give it time, Zach.
Yeah.
The next one would be banning U.S. congressmen from becoming lobbyists, repealing Citizens United.
Yeah.
Ending gerrymandering, replacing it with, I believe it's called proportional.
Oh, the apportionment amendment?
Is it apportionment amendment? It would be splitting up the voting districts differently based on population.
Yeah. The one that came out as an idea, the latest time it was presented to the stage was at about 50,000 per U.S. House rep would be the in general idea to go for. So I mean, it would be almost too many people to bribe. Would be the point overall.
Just too many people to bribe.
The in general idea would be of giving much more proper representation to things, and then hopefully with that idea.
Yeah, because the point of having all of those senators like per state is that you have the two in the one house in the one branch. You have the two in the one branch for your state, and then you have a population representation. And so actually doing it where we count the population and then have representatives for the entire population in a different branch is smarter than just being like, oh, we're going to do this many for your state. It's like, I guess that sounds fine.
And everyone's cool with that, but then the next item of giving Puerto Rico and other U.S. territories representation, and D.C. giving them representation or just flat-out statehood for all of the areas they're in. That would really shake some things up, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. It'd be great if it could actually be pulled off.
Yeah.
I don't know why any Democrats would be against that.
Because they suck.
That's right.
That's why.
In the Electoral College is the last note on that little section there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, again, I know I would be in favor of it. I think that if you kind of went with the idea of no taxation without representation kind of an approach, you could maybe even win a constitutionalist over to that idea on it.
Well, it's cool when we do imperialism. It's when, King George does it, it's bad.
Yes, of course. The next section of universal background checks, banning assault weapons, and providing a buyback program.
You would lose leftists and libertarians, but that is the perfect Democratic candidate.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm working with what I got here overall of it. So
there's
it's
nobody
not the perfect
leftist
candidate. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, no one wants to say abolish ICE and arm the illegal immigrants, but I mean, come on now. That's my policy platform number one.
Hell yeah. Which, speaking of, the next one, if y'all don't mind me taking the reins here, abolish ICE. Hell yeah. And reclassify illegal immigration to a civil infraction and provide a clear, easy path to citizenship for all refugees and migrants. Voucher for all migrants coming from countries dealing with U.S. imperialism.
Yeah, that would be the shit.
Thanks, Mr. Castro, for this idea.
Yeah.
Wait, shit, Castro floated the latter one there?
Yeah, that was part of what he had been experimenting
Holy shit, that rules. I mean,
Yeah,
even beginning to acknowledge, a lot of the reason that these countries are not in great shape is because of us. Like, that's a huge step in itself, let alone doing something about it. So, yeah. Fuck yeah.
It's certainly intriguing. Again, it's not necessarily all of their official stated policy points. These are all things that they've said that they would be open to. And so, for the sake of this idea, it's just saying, okay, well, they would be interested in possibly looking into this. So, sure, in this hypothetical, why not make this our temporary reality? So, take it away with the next one, Zach.
We would be creating a new cabinet-level Department of Childhood and Youth, and possibly a National Youth Service Program, enacting a Family Bill of Rights to help provide financial care for parents to use towards care, paid family leave, and helping to stop LGBTQ persecution.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it would be weird, I think, but, if we can set up a national security administration and no one really bat an eye about that, I think the idea of a Department of Childhood and Youth, like Marianne Orb Queen herself wants to set up, I think that could be something doable.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you look at, like, a whole bunch of other countries that have that, fucking really, really sound childcare and family care kind of stuff. Like, much like many other things in the United States, why the fuck don't we have that?
Yeah, I mean, Ireland,
Department of
making
Education.
us look bad.
Would that be like replacing, or would that be?
No. This would be essentially dealing with everything outside of the actual education.
Oh, okay. So we would already be revamping the Department of Education. So that would be kind of taking all the rest of those factors that we can't control for in our schools directly and try to raise our
just standard of living. Yeah.
It takes a village. The whole nanny state concept, which as every conservative bashes on, but kids who don't have nannies just end up getting abandoned because that's
a fucking nanny state sounds amazing. Yeah.
Some people want big-titted GF. Other people just want true nanny state. So.
I just want to grill, for God's sake.
Yes, absolutely. Weird fan art. Can you work on those commissions, Bo, for us?
Yeah, I'll shoot a DM to YifMaster420.
Government Chan.
Gross.
The next big thing that I think most people would be in favor of would be spending $3 trillion annually for Medicare for All single-payer system, defending Roe v. Wade, and then doing $100 billion over an unspecified amount of time for mental health research specifically. Again, with the overall budget being, $3.8 trillion, this would almost double it single-handedly, but the fact that then we would be eliminating a $4 trillion business market outside in the private sector would be the main plus side to it overall.
Yeah, because that money doesn't circulate, and so if the government is circulating more money into the market of itself, like by itself, spending that money into the market, that's better for the people that the government is spending it than that it's being accumulated in the pockets of the people that control those companies. So it's better for the system overall.
And I mean, I know people are going to be wondering, at least on the more right-wing people who listen to us. By the way, shout out to you guys. Big love, because it's weird to think about someone who is so far on the other ideological spectrum actually bothering to deal with our bullshit. But, we appreciate it.
And we are always on our bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't know how your opposition research brought you here, but
we haven't had any high-profile guests to drag through the mud yet, so it'll be fine. But Zach, how are we going to pay for all of this?
Oh no!
The next part of our Megazord candidate is the increased estate tax proposed by Warren. The ultra millionaire tax proposed by Warren. The corporate tax rate being raised to 27%. I think that was Beto?
Hickenlooper,
okay.
Weird, I know.
Out of left field.
Lincoln Chaffee just came on stage and said that.
Ending monopolies.
Yeah.
Breaking up tech giants and a national 5G plan and government.
Yes. So, just getting a full network going.
Cool.
Overall. Yeah. For communication, that would probably also fall under infrastructure, but who knows?
Yeah, well, we have the technology to make a full mesh network for the entire United States, so we don't have any centralized pathways through which our information travels and is instead distributed equally across the whole network, so that every device that we have in our homes and in our pockets that we carry with us every day contribute to it. But I guess if what we're working with is just nationalizing the existing infrastructure, then I'm also cool with that.
I mean,
Hell yeah.
Porque no los dos.
Yeah. All right, Bo.
Honestly.
Can I actually skip this one because I want to do the next one?
Okay.
Dibs.
Well, circling back to me, I guess, because Bo died and he's never coming back on the podcast. The thing would be to provide a $1,500 monthly freedom dividend credit for renters and working class folks to be put towards government housing, food, municipal internet, etc. Basically something to make sure that everyone has a firm quality of life through which they can live. The idea essentially being of all of this is that if you work 40 hours a week in America, you will have a house, you will have food, you will have internet and other basic utilities automatically provided for you, so that way then you don't have to worry about survival. You don't have to focus on those baseline needs. Additionally, providing $500 billion for African American reparations, which I know is touchy with some people, but I mean, I think that's...
But fuck them.
Yeah,
I mean fuck them.
Like, let's accept $500 billion versus...
That's a start.
That's before people come to realize the true value of their labor. So,
everybody's better off when there's more wealth accumulation across every class.
If we had simply just done 40 acres and a mule, we wouldn't be in this fucking mess to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And then the...
Would have been a lot fucking cheaper, Grandpa.
Yeah.
Really fucked me over on this one, Grandpa.
Goddamn
Me
boomers.
Specifically.
It's the boomers' fault, y'all. the fucking 1800s boomers, granted, but still.
All you millennials with your non-gas lamps.
All you millennials with your World War I. I mean, the Great War.
Using that newfangled electricity instead of good old whale oil.
We are like all over the fucking time period here.
What was that you said, Dad, about World War I? What's that mean? Is there going to be a World War II? Hold on.
Hold on a fucking second. I understood that reference.
Yeah. The last issue would be the idea of establishing public banks. Similarly, that would be then how people receive the $1,500 monthly for them.
It's like a credit union.
Yes,
a
precisely.
Credit union, a national federal credit union.
Gamers, I'm gonna have to think hard about this one.
All right, Bo.
Yeah. All right. Legalize the beep beep leaf and release nonviolent drug offenders from jail and abolish mandatory minimums because those are the cruelest fucking thing ever devised by this country.
I wish there was abolished
or one of the cruelest
prisons, but
yeah, that'd be a nice one too. But
yeah, no candidate has even really pushed for that.
Hopefully, Bernie's just hiding his power level. He's waiting to pull that one out when he really has to stand out from Warren.
When he has to go Super Saiyan, yeah.
When he has to face off against Trump, his whole goal is actually to just push the Overton window and get Trump to just accept all the leftist policies. He's fine.
That'd be amazing.
Bernie's like, we're gonna jail the bankers. We're gonna put them in prison. Trump's like, we're gonna get rid of prisons because our poor bankers just want to make money.
Like, well, Mr. Trump, I didn't agree with the fact that you didn't want to put them in prison, but I have to say the fact that we're going to guillotine them, I agree with.
Beautiful.
All right, so the last issue, Zach, you wanna bring this home?
Anti-imperialism. The Megazord is not going to leave the United States ever again. In fact, there is a proposed removal and transfer of military bases owned by the U.S. to the United Nations or the governments in the nations in which they reside, and a de-escalation and standing down of U.S. forces.
Saving us a lot of fucking money.
That we can spend on healthcare.
Do you think we're going to pay for healthcare?
Yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah.
You heard me, Grandpa.
I mean, to go back to the fucking, World War example, like, it's a little bit end of history to say this, I get it, it's a little fucking Fukuyamanist, which, fuck that guy, he sucks, but we don't need military presence on the scale that we have it in the world today. It's just fucking, it's goofy.
What?
It's almost like there's like some sort of complex of both military and industry that's working together.
Napoleon complex?
Yeah.
It amazes me that these are all different things proposed by different candidates in an effort to stand out.
Yes.
This isn't
because
like,
if you put them all up together, that makes, I think, for a pretty kick-ass candidate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, like, all of these together is like, all of this seems pretty reasonable, but because we have a failed party system and we have a horrible electorate, horrible electorate, people that watch the debates and then go out and don't want to talk about politics because, it's not that important to my life. What's important is showing up to work and paying my bills. They have to do these things. They have to say each of these individual things in order to stand out from each other and be distinct, because you can only remember them for one. So whichever the one is that captures the most, minds and ideas, minds and hearts and minds.
Hearts, minds, energy, orb. We all know who you're talking about.
What I'm saying is Marianne Williamson is our candidate, okay?
Yeah. Obviously.
Listen, she may be slightly anti-vax, but,
who needs who needs vaccines when you no longer inhabit a physical form because you're a being of pure light? I mean, come on. It's that simple.
Beings of pure light have no need for vaccines.
Yeah, if I exist solely on the astral plane, I can't get polio, so what's the fucking point?
Look, that's a bumper sticker if I've ever heard of
We don't still take smallpox vaccines because we eliminated smallpox. So she's anti-vaccine because she just wants to eradicate the diseases. She doesn't want us to have to fighting it with every generation experiencing the same 6 illnesses over and over again.
These fucking millennials and their vaccines. You just got swamp foot and had it rot off back in my day, and we liked it.
And
picture the Voltron candidate running, right? And the idealism and the standard bearing that it would create. And then contrast that with Nancy fucking Pelosi and what she did this week. Just crash right back into Earth. Fully crater into the ground.
The liquor stores are closed on Sunday. I can't deal with that, alright? Please.
I'm sorry, this is not a podcast for people with bad mental health who actually want to do something about it. You have to choose to let go, Bo. Languish in it. Let it deteriorate.
Find the light orb within me.
I think deep down, the orb was inside each of us all along.
This is like I want to be like, oh yeah, Rand Paul was right. They shouldn't be proposing these giant bills that nobody has time to read that we just vote on based on what they say on the floor.
Well, can you give people a breakdown, Zach, of what went on with Nancy Pelosi deciding to fund everything? So basically, by the way, feel free and just read the paragraph if you want.
Progressive Caucus. The Progressive Caucus did not want to pass the bill because the bill didn't have limits or any particular standards for the issues that they're having at the border detention centers, the concentration camps.
Yeah.
Or any sort of structure for how soon we would be moving them out or anything. There was nothing in there. It's just a blank check to the detention centers to get them money again.
The privately run detention centers
That are already
that cost us $750 a day per person.
$775 a day.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. And most of that goes to just padding the profit line, right?
Yes.
So without any actual standards to be put in place or ways to check and verify, we're just straight up cutting them a blank check.
And her quote, in justifying this, her quote from her letter is, "Therefore, we will not engage in the same disrespectful behavior that the Senate did in ignoring our priorities. In order to get resources to the children fastest, we will reluctantly pass the Senate bill."
Jesus. Okay. Well, that's I'm going to pass this, but I'm not happy about it type of a thing.
Yeah. No, it's like for so long she's like, "Oh, this is so, this is terrible. Everything that's happening there is terrible. All these children are being, just kept in these horrible conditions." And now she's like, "Well, but we're going to give them money, but we're not going to actually give them any oversight like we're supposed to."
Yeah, like it's literally just cutting them a blank fucking check and being like, "All right, now you kids be good."
Now
Like,
do more
what
of
a
the
fucking
same
idiot.
so that we can continue to run on Republicans bad, Orange Man bad.
Exactly.
That's like a parent who stocks up the liquor cabinet before they go on vacation.
Oh, I wish I had my parents did that.
Yeah, that's implying that Nancy Pelosi's cool and good, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Let me clarify.
It's the parents that stock up their meth supply before going on vacation.
There you go.
It's like the parents who stock up the liquor cabinet, you think, but it turns out to just be water and tea inside bottles, and then they stole your weed stash that you hid from them.
Your dad packs his weed stash and fills all the liquor bottles with gasoline.
Jesus Christ.
So glad that these people continue to use children as pawns instead of actually changing something. If they wanted to change something, they would do it. If they wanted something to happen, they could cut off funding. They wouldn't have signed this. Nancy Pelosi doesn't care. That's
simple as, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, surely the courts will stop all this from happening, right, guys?
Obviously.
no.
Right? Yeah?
No.
Yeah?
No.
No. Chief Justice Roberts, he's a good man.
No.
He's very principled.
And Justice
Right.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah, she's not going to let any of that happen. Feminist icon working with alleged rapist Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Slay Queen. Also, the way you said that sentence makes it sound like she's the alleged. Oh boy.
Listen, we don't know what she did in her past.
This is all satire, y'all. No legal libel fucking possible, alright?
I would love to stand before the Supreme Court. It is my right as an American to use improper grammar that heavily implies that you are a rapist, ma'am.
Yeah. No, for real, though, fuck Brett Kavanaugh. He should hang by his fucking toes from a fucking light pole.
Yeah.
Bo's his
Satire.
infatuation with toes again.
No, the toe thing's satire, too.
His
Probably.
little piggy toes.
Yeah, he deserves that. Hang on, I gotta mute real fast.
Totally don't have a boner, yeah.
Comes back 36 seconds later. Okay, guys, so what were we talking about?
God.
I don't know. What did you guys think about Sanders' proposal? The thing that should have been trending, but everyone kind of moved on past.
Thank you, Marianne, again.
Yes, yes.
His idea to rotate Supreme Court justices to circuit courts.
Yes, keep their lifetime appointment, but set essentially a term limit of how long they could be on the actual Supreme Court for. And
I think that's great. Yeah.
I like that. I like that we're finally delving into leaving or giving term limits to justices, especially ones that have to make decisions on the bench for so many years.
Forever.
It truly would turn everything into just a chess match because, okay, well, who's going to start going out first? And then during which administration would it be best for this justice to retire or whatever, Because
Yeah.
if you're a Supreme Court justice, let's assume you're a Republican, and you have 5 years left, right? You would stay through those 4 years, but then during the re-election cycle, do you retire while the incumbent president is already in power and your replacement can then be pushed through? Or do you kind of roll the dice and hope that your party still stays in power after the re-election, but you're able to get overall an extra year?
How many justices would be on the Supreme Court if they had such a turnover rate?
I mean, it probably would 9 probably would be
Okay.
my guess. Overall, just more or less keep the system down. I couldn't imagine expanding it all the way up to 15, but certainly not reducing it beyond 9, especially right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Supreme Court is important, but they don't actually do a lot of stuff that affects us in our day-to-day lives. Like even federal decriminalization.
You hear that, gays who've got the right to get married? Your day-to-day life.
It
didn't
depends. I get what you're saying.
change anything.
I get what you're getting at.
Yeah, no, there's not a whole lot that federally can happen that states don't have the explicit right to ban. That's why the gay marriage stuff was so important, because it was not allowing states to deny access to marriage, because marriage is not something that is a citizenship. It's a citizen status. It's a legal status of two people as determined by the federal government, not the state government. So that's a little different.
Well, I mean, I'm just sick of how our Supreme Court currently has oh, okay, cool. So the citizenship question isn't going to be on the census. Yay! But also this partisan gerrymandering is completely legal. Boo! It's just
No. They're making important decisions. The decisions that they can choose to make are what's more important than their actual this is the issues that they choose to address are more important than the actual power that they hold. It's more important that they decided to regulate segregation through the I can't think of what it was. They did segregation. Well, either way, the way it was more important that they decided that they wanted to intervene in segregation than that they were able to find a way legally to do so. So it is important. It's not as important that we get, intelligent people in there. It really is more important that we get people in there that have ideological views that align with ours. And it's the joke about, it's the joke we made last week where it's yeah, we're gonna stack the courts with people that believe this, and then 10 years later it's so we were thinking about letting the gays get married, and they're like, what? No, that's horrible. We might be progressives, but we're not filthy animals.
Yeah, exactly. What's next?
letting humans marry animals. Listen, Grandpa, you really got to get off the Alex Jones.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is it's the Zionists who killed Dog the Bounty Hunter's wife, okay?
They've gone after Dog. This is the last straw. Literally the last plastic straw in California. The rest of them were banned.
Nice.
Around.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, our industrial military complex. Meanwhile, our military industrial. Whatever. Fuck it. You guys get
I
it.
get what you're saying.
There we go.
I know where you're going with this, and I just want to say I agree. Yeah, it's
Thank
good
you.
It's good that we're putting term limits on these people who we only need for ideological representation. Like, the Supreme Court is important as they think they are. And boy, if you read those briefs, they think they're so fucking important. As important as they think they are, like, they're just there to affirm the existing ideology. That's all that they do. And so when there is a large enough existing ideology for there to be a determination that is considered progressive or is considered change, like, that just means that we appointed someone younger who was more in touch with what was cool in the 70s instead of what was cool in the 50s. So It's dumb. I hate the Supreme Court. I'm fucking glad that we're gonna
throw out the olds.
Out. And while we're doing it, throw out drug laws.
Hell yeah. Throw out the whole fucking government, top to bottom.
Well, something that I think that the old geezers wouldn't be able to tell whatsoever or have predicted would be that Illinois, of all places, would decide to legalize weed earlier this week. So,
hell yeah.
You know, Mike Pence is getting really nervous knowing that his neighbor state is suddenly becoming, like, really cool and has, like, now a 26-year-old girlfriend moving in.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you'd think fucking of all states, like, Illinois is like the equivalent of that kid in high school who would always tuck his fucking shirt into his cargo shorts. So this is great.
Now there's just going to be a whole bunch of remakes of John Hughes movies with all the teenagers smoking weed.
Yeah, what's great about Illinois is that that was how the current governor got into office. His campaign was legalizing marijuana.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
And what's also awesome is it's not only everything is legal. You can buy, you can sell, you can grow. The cities and counties can prohibit sales, but not possession.
You can also punch a cop.
Low-level convictions and arrests for marijuana will be pardoned and expunged as of
that's the
1st,
really
2020.
Really cool fucking part.
Yeah,
like, that's amazing.
No, that dude's fucking badass. Like,
yeah,
I'm glad that Illinois can be the first, like, heart of the country state to legalize marijuana. California's not a real state.
That's right.
California's fake. It only exists in movies.
Yeah, and so does Alaska.
Well, no. Russia created. Okay, Russia created Alaska.
Yeah, Alaska's
a PSYOP program.
Yeah,
so that
it's an old KGB project.
Exactly. All of the funding we actually have in Alaska that we say for our federal government just goes actually to our Cold War, Star Wars era type programs that we're still paying off.
Wonderful.
Star Wars era? Don't you mean Space Force?
Hell
yeah.
Hey. Yeah. Well, and we have legalized marijuana in another state, but the federal government is currently cracking down on Kratom sales.
The Kratom crackdown.
No. Just when Illinois was going to be so cool, what happened?
Well, the good news is it's not particularly in Illinois. It's more in Utah,
But this is what happens when you let filthy Republican senators from Oregon start to hang out goddamn refugees claiming political persecution. All of a sudden, shit starts changing in your state. You can't trust them. They're up to no good.
Yeah. Fucking... Yeah, this it's the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, I get that you can't be selling Kratom and say, oh yeah, this cures your cancer, fuck it, whatever. But also, like, who the fuck cares? It's Kratom. It's not like they're out there selling crack or something.
I mean, Kratom is not horrible for you. It's classified currently as an opioid, which is questionable classification. But it's not. I don't think that it's not used the same way as recreationally as marijuana is used.
No, yeah, you boof it.
Yeah. Well, listen,
in your butt.
Again, with the federal laws versus state laws, though, this is the state of Utah has passed Kratom laws. So, Kratom Consumer Protection Act to
fucking Mormons.
Kratom manufacturers to show that their product is unadulterated or pure and not mixed with other elements.
Like crack cocaine.
Like heavy metals. It just reminds me of that Mike Adams, that heavy metals claim.
Yeah.
supplements. Like, huh? So what's the name of this? What's the name of this Oregon senator?
I need to see a photo of this guy. Make sure it's not him in a mustache.
It's an awfully large mustache he's rocking there.
He's twirling it so much.
Mm.
I hate Mike Adams' face.
Punch him in the dick.
He looks like that one guy that was in that Q group for a while that kept doing those weekly shows and posting it.
Oh God, I fucking forgot about that dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
What group?
There was
So yeah, we were in a QAnon group for a while because it was
Oh.
fucking hilarious.
You guys didn't mention that to me.
Oh yeah, no, we're like hardcore QAnon guys. You didn't know that?
Gotcha.
yeah. This is.
I knew we were friends for a reason, so I'm just,
Psychic
No, but yeah,
Q Raj.
There you go. But yeah, he was basically this dude who looks like he sells weed to high schoolers. It was just the most fucking bonkers boomer shit. Because of course, like, oh yeah, dude, you're getting secret dispatches from your handlers or whatever, and then posting them on Facebook. That makes sense.
Secret
To be fair,
dispatches.
if I had to give a guy secret dispatches and I was with the CIA trying to run a psyop, it would be that kind of guy I would give all the real information to.
Yeah, this very stable individual.
Yeah. Well, I guess circling back around to marijuana legalization and our Megazord, I want to remind you that the Megazord supports full legalization and expungement of marijuana charges. And
Candidate Megazord.
yeah, candidate Megazord. And the only Democratic candidate currently who doesn't support marijuana legalization is Joe Biden.
Of fucking
Oh.
course.
You mean future DNC nominee
Oy.
Joe Biden,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Future recipient of a punch in the dick. Joe Biden. Not saying I'm doing it, but it's gonna happen. Someone's gonna do it.
I'm gonna milkshake that fucker.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's just going to go ahead and count as an episode for us. QAnon, as always, is where every good podcast should end up at. Don't forget, you guys can find us on Facebook at Psychic Dolphin Garage. Send us an email, psychicdolphingarage@gmail.com. Give us a phone call. Let us know if you too are a sex predator at 512-402-2089.
Speaking of QAnon.
Hell yes. You can find me on Twitter at Sex Confetti. That's gonna feel weird to say, or just message the page if you want to chat and see if we're up at 2 a.m. We get lonely sometimes. Bo,
Not that lonely. Not that lonely, no sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said before, my handle is at Schnedwob. That's SCHNEDWOB. I will come up with some. I will conjure some Marianne Williamson tweets and get that clout. I promise. Also, before we wrap up entirely, I do want to fit in meat carrot one last time because thank you for that horrible phrase, Arby's.
Well, we've gone over we've made a Megazord. We've gone over the Democratic fuck up of the week, and we've bitched about the Supreme Court for a bit. So if you guys want to keep talking to us about this week's goings on, message us. If you want to talk to us and your friends about it, let us know. I'll make a Discord. We can get a space going where we can, where we can all visit and share our ideas on these issues. And I guess that's it for this week.
Hell yeah.
all right, guys. Well, deuces.